Hey folks, we're back. It's Simon and David here with another show and tell. Welcome, Simon. How you doing?
Why is it always us?
Well, other people flaky, aren't they?
There's other people in the Retro Rides team, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. There,
Well,
there,
we
there
can
are there are more than us.
we can reassure people that it's not always going to be my face. Your
Yes.
face most of the time because you're there clicking the buttons and doing the thing. You're producer, but yeah, and I'm just a guest head.
You are a beautiful guest head. Anyway, let's
I'm
let's roll these titles.
Let's do it.
So, how has your week been, then, Simon?
It's been all right. It's December,
Yeah.
so on a personal level, rather than anything to do with cars, that is kind of a busy time for me, and I'm not sleeping much.
Oh.
You know how it is, but it's lucrative, so we can't complain, can we?
Well, that's what pays for the cars.
Well, it pays for the house, really. pays for life. Money, but budget for cars is quite limited.
I'm I'm technically on holiday now.
No.
Yeah. So that's good. So yeah, I can finally catch up with all of the retro ride things that I haven't done over the year because I've been so busy. So watch out, retro rides, folks. Forum updates, club retro rides, all of that good stuff is in the works. Yeah, but people aren't here to talk about our week, are they? I don't think so. What they're here to talk about is cars that are hard to get right. That's our topic of conversation for today. We'll have news later on and heroes of the week and all of that kind of stuff. But right now we are talking about cars that are hard to get right. And what prompted this was a conversation with that there Simon, wherever he is, around minis. So Simon observed at the OSO Retro event, which we love, we're a big fan of you guys, that a lot of the minis were very highly accessorized. I think the phrase you used was people just don't leave them alone. And I think that's partly not, that's up to the owners. They can do what the hell they want with their own cars. But it was partly, I think, because there is a wealth of things that you can do to them because they got such a big scene, like a lot of other cars. And I thought that actually makes it difficult to know when to stop and that kind of thing. So I thought like cars that it's hard to get right, that was my starting point. So yeah, I'm going to go with cars that there's a lot of accessories for, was my beginning theory. So you got your minis and your Beetles and your camper vans, things that they're just a million and one different accessories for. And I think actually also some, to a certain degree, some of the JDM scene stuff as well. Like you can easily go overboard. And that while there's some styles within the JDM scene that are all about being completely overboard, I think that it's very easy to go on a bit of a shopping spree and just end up with too much and no cohesive theme to it or anything. So that was, yeah, that's where I'm standing. That's my first flag. I think there's going to be some more flags, but that's my first flag.
I know the cars you're talking about. You're talking about those front wheel drive mid school Japanese cars where people buy them and then get whatever sort of wheels they can, maybe some 7x13 mini lights or something, and then loads of stickers and stickers down the middle of the screen at the back. And maybe a plastic roll cage.
Yeah.
Just all that stuff. I love that scene, but you could probably make something. You could probably take an old Mazda 323, like a front wheel drive one, and do a lot less with it and have it looking super cool. In fact, the master of that sort of stuff, Epic Specials. I know obviously he's got an extreme one, but he can just turn around not so cheap these days, but a cheap JDM retro and make it look really, really smart, really quickly.
Yeah, I think it's knowing when to stop. Like when you've got everything available to you, like knowing when to go, that's enough. Because you can look, I think it's looking at individual bits and in isolation, they're very cool or they appeal to you in some manner. But actually when you put it all together, it's just too much, which I suspect is probably what happened with a lot of the minis. Like people have had minis for years and they're like, oh, actually clear rear indicators would be good, and then I don't know, they're never good, but headlight eyebrow things, those things. Oh, that I quite like them. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then like whatever else. And then after a while, it's all on there. It's like, oh, that's a little bit too much. But it's their car, so like they love it anyway. But I think each individual part can be perfectly legitimate when you get it, but actually when you put it all together, and I definitely suffer from this. Like I have this problem with the Datsun. It was because it's been built up over time. Like I kept on trying little bits and pieces on it, like little thing here, little thing there, and it just wasn't. It's just not cohesive. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think one of the other issues is you mentioned Beetles earlier, and the thing about Beetles that used to happen in the back to 89 days is people used to see a car. You'd see a car on Volkswagen or the local hero car or something like that, and it'd be a peppermint 70s bug. And it'd be lowered on color-coded MP8s or something. It'd just be nice. It'd be nice and low. And there'd be someone else local who goes, oh, I like that. That looks really cool. And they go out and buy the MP8s, and they might even lower it. But what they didn't do is choose the right tyre sizes or put that little sticker in the window that just makes a difference to reference something. And it's amazing. You can use the same parts, but end up with a different look just through not realizing that there was a few subtleties in there. So that's another way that cars can be hard to get right, and that is you can actually build it by numbers and then right at the last minute just go, I've got speed ramps down my road, I'm not going to have it quite as low, and then your car's just not as good as the one that you were replicating.
I think the other cars are probably definitely hard to get right are things where there is nothing available for them, because then you're constantly working in a manner where they haven't been done before, which is great because there's no benchmark, but also there's no benchmark. So it's like you don't know whether or not it would look better a bit lower than it currently is, because there's not another one to look at where you go, well, it always look better, but there's not another one to look at where you go, oh, actually that would look better if it was like another ½ inch lower. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think that there's definitely you end up trying to find parallel cars. It's the whole thing of looking at a Cortina and comparing it to something else, another 3-box shape, and going, or actually probably more the other way around, finding another 3-box shape and then looking at a Cortina and going, oh, actually that's what looks good on a Cortina, I'll do that on this 3-box. And the same with all the 1-box stuff, or your high aces and all that kind of stuff. I think that there's always a danger of having a very difficult time with a car that's not commonly modified. But the rewards are great, because if you get it right, you're immediately 100% better than any comparable car.
I had something on this as well, choosing paint colours. I love paint colours, and I love looking at different ones. I'm driving about and I'm like, oh, look at the colour of that. That's what a lovely colour. I can look that up when I get home. That's, just stuff like that. And anytime I've had a car painted, which I must say is infrequently, but I've always just wished I'd gone with the original colour. I painted a Type 25 once, and I did it in a Daewoo blue. It was about the same time as, do you remember the purple, the Vauxhall Corsa purple that everyone used to use?
Yeah.
It was kind of along that line, but if you merged Vauxhall Corsa purple with Audi RS2 blue, you end up colour in the middle. Well, that's what I thought, and it was a similar colour to some of the T3 Type 25 vans I'd seen in Volkswagen scene in Germany, because people didn't do them over here, or at least not in that way. And I thought, I'll do that. And it was one of those, originally it was one of those 2-tone blue ones. It's really common colour scheme on Type 25. And I changed the colour, and I didn't like it immediately. I had all these ideas, and then I just wished I'd left it the stock colour.
That's
another thing. Sometimes, even if the stock colour is boring as hell, I think you still could end up just sticking with what you've got. That's why I think, genuine surprise when we started looking at a lot of the JDM stuff, how many cars were white. And I know there's been a fashion for white relatively recently, but you certainly wouldn't have a modified car in white, and yet they had shows full of them, shows full of white 3-box saloons. Retro cars. Don't make me dig one out. I'm just pointing out the white
This is entirely by accident. I did not plan this. That's just what I was reading last, so it's sat out.
Nice.
Wheels. There are an awful lot of wheels that I like. And I look at them and I go, they look awesome, and I want them. And then I Photoshop them onto my car, and I'm like, they look terrible. They look great as wheels, but actually on the car, they just look wrong, or you can't get them in the right size and fitment. So I think again, that probably comes back a bit to that kind of, I like that accessory, or I like that, clear rear indicators or whatever. Like, you like it in isolation, and then when you put it into the whole, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. And fitment's like such a difficult thing these days. When I first started playing with cars, which was quite a long time ago, we just like whatever wheels we could fit, and that was just what you put up with. You didn't really have to sit flush with the arch. Sometimes you put wheels on, and that would happen, and you'd be like, yeah, I like the way that looks. But you didn't really. I'm not saying tire stretch didn't happen, because they used to have big balloon tires on wider rims and stuff like that. Yeah. But you couldn't really. It wasn't normal practice to stretch a tire back under an arch if it stuck out too far. You got what you were given, and it's really interesting that we talk about fitment and how you want it to fit and stuff like that. That just wasn't. It was luck of the draw in the old days. That was.
Yeah. I think any car where you can get a lot of stuff for it, or you can't get anything for it.
Yeah.
And anything that has paint or wheels is tricky to get right.
Yeah. If it's a car, if it's got wheels, if it's popular or unpopular, you've really summed it up there for us. I'm so pleased. How long was that discussion?
I don't know, probably about 10 minutes.
I bet it wasn't. I bet it seemed like hours for people watching.
Oh, this whole thing feels like hours for anybody watching it, let's face it.
We're just chatting.
It's just a Sunday morning. We're having a nice chat.
That's right.
I should get a bacon sandwich.
No, you shouldn't.
Well, upset the vegan. Right. Let's get some news before we upset Simon any further. We'll start off with the big news of the week, which is the Retro Rides Gathering is on the move. We are heading towards Mallory Park, a venue that we've been at a few years ago now for the very first Retro Rides event before Retro Rides Gathering existed. It's on the 18th of September. It is, as you'd expect, camping and track time, not a track day. Be point-to-point sprint with some description, club stand, retro parking, traders, all of that good stuff. It's the Retro Rides Gathering. It is what it is. It's the best show of the year. So we are moving there mainly for space reasons. I probably put together a little video explaining the move when we do a full launch. So this full launch will be in February, I think, early February, late January. So stop asking questions. Tickets are going to go on sale then. Right now, tickets are on sale for the Retro Rides Weekender. You can come and join us at Goodwood on the, I think I want to say 20 and 21st of May. And we will have all of the paddock details, applications, club stands, displays, all of that stuff's going to open up sometime in January, probably middle of January. So yeah, show season next season for Retro Rides Gathering is now announced, and Retro Rides Weekender is already live, so that's good. And also the Quick 60 is happening again as well, so we'll have more details on that, which is the kind of, it's not a Retro Rides event, but it's sort of semi-related competition event that we do, so that is all good. Next up, we have the Redux BMW, which has been sort of making the round, so I don't think this is new news for anyone. Redux is a resto-modded BMW. If you've got a spare £400,000, there is an excellent Carfection video, and there's also an excellent Top Gear video detailing the cars, but basically it's all carbon panels, it's 2.5 litre engine, it's 300 brake horsepower. It's got loads of stuff done to it. And in fact, the reason we are quite intimately familiar with it, is the work is done by Retro Power. So there's going to be 30 of them in total. So if you wish to sell your house and buy a car, or if you're just ridiculously rich, feel free to grab a Redux E30, and you are welcome at any of our shows. So come along. Also, on the subject of Retro Power, they put out a picture this week of one of their current projects, which I was rather taken with. Didn't quite make Hero of the Week, which was they're taking a Mark II Jaguar and making a coupe out of it. So pictures on the screen. That's all we got. It's going to be an interesting build. So keeping an eye on that. Looks a little bit like the Lancia Aurelia that we had last week. Lastly, in event news, there is on Boxing Day the Hot Rod Hailing Island meet for all of your groovy post-Christmas hot rod needs. And then there's the Brass Monkey Run in Norfolk as well coming up alongside the previously mentioned Brooklyn's New Year's meet. So lots to do over the sort of festive period for our retro cars. If you want to keep getting them out and about, go and support your local meets, any local breakfast clubs and everything you find. Just make sure you're out there and showing people our awesome cars. Anyway, back to me and him. Well, that was a shocking bit of news, wasn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was actual news. It was like stuff, new stuff,
news and stuff.
Amazing.
Anyway,
well presented as well, I thought.
Probably not. We'll find out in a couple of days.
Let's do it.
Right. It's Heroes of the Week. Okay, so Heroes of the Week. We have Simon up first, I think.
Yeah, I've got a Hero of the Week. I have. I mean, it's quite interesting that now I'm looking around going, oh, this is cool, and choosing a Hero of the Week. And this week, I've come across a chap called Superfast Matt. Now, you might not have done this week, although I think the video I sent you was the latest thing, but he has built a lovely old Jaguar, proper old swoopy Jag, 55, I think, something like that, but he's Tesla swapped it. He's done all the Tesla business to it. And it still looks not ratty in a terrible way, but just a really original paint. And he's just working through it. And it's got controversial wheels because it's got the Aero Spoke Model 3 wheels on it. But they can be changed. Wheels are just, if you don't like the wheels, imagine other wheels. It's quite simple. Big steels. Yeah, big steels is the way to go. But if you want to say those in the know can spot the Tesla swap, then the wheels are quite a neat touch. And crikey, it looks like a good build and looks like a good car. Cool. And he lives in California, I think. And there's a shot of it, actually. I think he took it to a car meet at the Peterson Museum. And he just didn't have like hot rod engine cover open, no hood on it, but there's no engine in it. So he's just, you imagine he's turned up at a car meet in a quite unusual hot rod that has got an open engine bay with nothing in it.
Perfect. You could put lunch in there.
Hero.
Which is probably the best thing to do with a Tesla.
We're going to do Tesla swaps one day, but I don't know how you can hate that. I assume it's on the screen now.
Well, it'll be around the place somewhere.
It's there or there, but people are looking at it and they know that whilst the wheels might be questionable, they're swappable. That car looks great and probably drives lovely.
There you go. Perfect.
Like a Tesla, no less.
It probably has better panel gaps, so that's probably great.
I don't think they're as bad as they used to. I think now they like a massive car manufacturer. I think they're better than they used to be. But I don't have a Tesla. Never owned one. And
you own a better electric car than a Tesla, so that's nice.
I'd swap, and I'd be careful with the word own as well.
So we've got one more thing that we're going to put in. Hopefully we are allowed to put it in. In fact, if you're seeing this, we have been allowed to put it in. Yeah. This is somewhat dubiously Hero of the Week. We probably shouldn't be celebrating this person, but I totally am because it's awesome. So last week before, Albo Media was down at Daikoku Futo filming, as he often is. Go and check out his channel; it's very cool. And there were the sound of screechy wheels, and he ran up to the top, and at the back you could see a load of people doing a bit of team drifting around an area of road, which, if you happen to look at drift videos that came out of Japan in the early 2000s, you would recognize this bit of road intimately, because everybody was drifting around this sort of just this loop, and there's this junction there that everybody used to drift around, and it was great to see it. But the hero of the week is the guy that, when the police turn up to move them all on, just baits the police car for about 2 or 3 minutes, just going, doing a drift, and then waiting for them to catch up, and then going off and doing another one.
Well, they've got that bit of the road in the middle, and he's going, as they're going like this. It's like you almost want to play the Benny Hill theme over it.
It's unbelievable.
As they're like, they're around it, it's like as they go round there, and he's like, oh, back again. Oh, it's comedy genius.
It's just it's not to be condoned, but absolutely amazing. So that'd be playing time. But go and watch the full video. We're not going to put the full video up here. Go and support Elbow Media and go and look at his channel and stuff. But lunatic, brilliant lunatic, hilarious.
And I think it's almost that sort of Japanese law breaking thing where, you know, you never quite understand Japanese culture, but it's like, well, you can't do this, but you can do it in a sort of a comedy way. It's like acceptable to do something that's against the law. And a very respectful nation, but they're like, well, I'm going to break the law, but I'm going to do it in this way, because this is my particular bit of culture allows me to break the law in this way. Like you know, Buzazuku gangs or something like that, where they're just like, you know, or how long your socks are if you're a part of that crew, or because you have to be part of a crew, don't you? You have to be one of those businessmen. You can be a businessman or a schoolgirl or a drifter.
I don't know where you're going with this, Simon. It sounds insane.
It's my complete lack of understanding of Japanese culture.
Perfectly legit.
I've been there. So I've been there for 3 days. I am incredibly knowledgeable on the whole thing. I've been to Japan. I dressed as a schoolgirl. I've got the pictures. They should be on the screen now.
Oh, Christ. Okay. This
put them up.
No, this has to stop. This has to stop immediately. Thank you very much, Simon.
You can just keep the pictures to yourself. Don't put them on. We don't want to get banned.
I'm appalled by your behaviour. We might be back with someone else next time. It's that's unrelated to the previous conversation. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. In fact, actually, if you like and subscribe, we will never show those pictures of Simon ever. If you don't, it's all the next video is going to be.
The socks are clean.
It's disgusting.
At least. I'm so sorry.